Okay, good evening, everyone. We are really excited to be back doing lives again. Happy August from all of us. My name is Dr. Amrita Patel. I am your fellow ambassador of social media here for the International College of Dentists USA section. And today we are going to have a really special guest with us, Dr. Dan Fridh, who is in Indiana and has founded a really great program called Operation Stand Down. So before we kind of get into introducing Dr. Fridh, I just wanted to make mention of the fact that my co-host for the evening is your president, Dr. Jim Setterberg from Colorado. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. So Dr. Dan Fridh went to dental school in Indiana. He graduated from the Indiana University School of Dentistry in 1975 and then did a GPR with the United States Air Force and finished that shortly thereafter. He was chief of dental operations at an Air Force station in Minnesota and at an Air Force base in North Dakota, and has held numerous positions in leadership, both in ICD and in other dental associations, and was in fact a past president of the Indiana Dental Association. So thank you so much for being here with us, Dr. Fridh. And we all know Dr. Setterberg, and we love Dr. Setterberg. So thank you for joining us from Colorado.
Thank you.
I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Fridh to do a little bit of introduction about the program. So could you tell us about Operation Stand Down and how it formed and kind of how things are going?
Well, Operation Stand Down started with an idea. I noticed in my practice, I had several veterans who didn't have enough money to really afford the quality care that they needed. And so I decided that I would help them as much as I could, but then I thought, well, there's got to be other veterans in the community or in the county that could also use the help. So I tested some of my people that I work with and said, hey, what do you think if we tried to do this as a community group? Anyway, I stood up in one of the county dental meetings and I tried to explain what I wanted to do with Operation Stand Down. And the first response was, well, everybody already gives a lot of free workout anyway. So they weren't too interested. But by the time I explained about who was going to receive the care and what we were trying to do, I had 22 out of the 23 doctors in the room signed up. And from there, it was very easy to get things going.
Okay. And Dr. Setterberg, any kind of questions or comments before we get right into our interview with Dr. Fridh?
No, Dan, thank you for participating tonight. I know that there's a nationwide push to expand this program, and I have to commend you for what you've done in Indiana and surrounding areas there for for veterans. I know there's a few other programs, but there's certainly an interest for supporting those that have taken care of us and given us our freedom. So I just want to say a personal thank you to you and all those involved with Operation Stand Down for making this happen.
Thank you very much, Jim. You know, there've been a lot of doctors along the way that have helped me. And I feel like when we do these projects, Operation Stand Down for the veterans, it's like Christmas. The giver gets a lot more reward than the receiver. And spending time with these veterans and getting to know them, getting to know what they sacrificed, where they served, how they served. It's been a very rewarding project.
Great.
Wonderful.
And as we want to thank, of course, all of our support staff, Paula and Kylie and everyone at the ICD office that helps us put all of this together. I also want to make mention of the fact that this is posted and it is streaming live right now on our International College of Dentists USA section Facebook page. There is a place there to ask questions or if you have any comments like us to address with Dr. Fridh. So if you want to post them there, we will make sure to answer as many of them as we can. And again, this is live right now, but it will be posted and archived on our Facebook page so that if you want to kind of make reference to it later or go back and watch it if you missed some of it, you can do that. And Dr. Fridh is going to, at the end, make sure he leaves us with contact information. So any of you that are interested in finding out more information or potentially getting involved and doing this in your area, will have a way to contact Dr. Fridh. So we're going to kind of get right into it. What, Dr. Fridh, inspired you to develop this type of program for veterans, this type of dental program?
Well, Amrita, I'm a veteran myself, and so I feel a duty to take care of the people who've taken care of our country. I saw, like I said, I saw veterans in my practice who needed some help, and I recruited other doctors to help me provide free dental care to any veteran who could qualify. The qualifications we always used was the county that we were treating. I would solicit dentists from that county, and then we'd solicit veteran patients who lived in the county and could produce a DD-214 discharge paper to show us that they actually were a veteran. The need was there. There are some patients who hadn't seen a dentist in 30 years. It was amazing the range of health of some of these patients who came through our line, and the community involvement, the number of people who wanted to volunteer to help us was amazing. You hate to turn volunteers down, but you can only fit so many people in a room. So I guess it's just been a feel-good project. There was a need to fill, and I've recruited the doctors to fill the need. It's like a perfect storm.
That's great. That's really
wonderful. Well, Dan, in talking about that community support that you received, how did you get the word out to the community? And it sounds as though it's very well received. And you had the 22 of the 23 dentists, but I know this has gone far beyond, your small little neighborhood in the Indiana Dental Association. So how did you get the word out, and how did you get those others involved?
Well, getting the patients involved in our first operation standout, I made posters and put them in all the Legion and VFW halls in our county. We had 20 VFWs and Legions. I was pretty amazed we had that many. But then I started putting posters in other places where I thought veterans might be, and communicated with a couple of the special groups, tried to let them know this was there. My primary source for veteran patients was my veteran service officer that worked really close with me and making the appointments for these first veterans, because most of them didn't think it would, they thought it was too good to be true. And nobody gets a free lunch, and it's not really going to happen. But we recruited 88 patients for the very first one. And when I talked to my doctors, I told them I wouldn't give them any more than 10 patients each, and it turned out they each got 5, and everybody was excited to do the work. It was a great thing. Getting the word out to other groups is in other places where I've spoke. I've tried to create some interest around the state, and then around the country through ICD. I've talked with different friends through ICD and twisted their arm and said, here's how you do it. Let me help.
Little hand holding, but
it's a little hand holding, but if you show the benefit in front of the work, I think that's where the doctors who are providing and the teams that are providing this service are feeling the reward, and the veterans are so appreciative. I mean, it's needed. It's service that needs to be done.
Well, and we know so many of our practicing dentists are veterans themselves, like yourself, and they know that importance of giving back. So again, kudos to you and those you've gotten involved.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what the original model of this program looked like, kind of when you started it. What was, how did you kind of screen patients? What kind of specific care did you provide? What was that model? What did it look like?
Okay, so our very first event, we started at the Community Health Center. A group of dentists, including myself, went together and raised some money to put up a community dental center, and then later the hospital took it over and added a medical wing. So we used that community health center as our place to do the screening on a Saturday morning. And I had community volunteers to help with the paperwork, because a lot of these patients may not be able to read or write very well, or it's just a lot faster to ask the questions and help them to get all the paperwork done. And then with each patient who was scheduled, as they came in, we assigned them a escort. We called them guardian angels. And we came up with that name from the guardian riders who escort all of our veterans who come back to LaPorte, whether they're living or not. And so we called them guardian angels. They guided them through the information stage, then to the x-ray area where they got a Panorex, then to the exam area where they had an exam, and then finally to a reception area where I had one of the American Legion ladies there to receive them, and we had some snacks where they could sit around and kind of reminisce a little bit with some of the other vets that were there. You can see by the numbers, we had 88 people overall, and they ranged from age 28 to 88. The next slide shows you that the biggest group of them were from the Army, just because the Army's bigger than the Navy and the Air Force. I chose the Air Force for my residency because I'm not a good swimmer and I didn't want to lay on the ground. So the Air Force seemed like a good place to go. But the screeners, I had 5 treatment rooms for the screeners, and they each had an assigned assistant, and we had digital radiographs available for us to do the screening. And then once we recorded the dental record, we put it into a packet along with a copy of the x-ray. And then at the end of the day, I sat down with a couple of the screeners and we made those assignments to the volunteer doctors who would take care of the work. Estimated cost or value of the screening day was probably about $25,000 between all the exams and the x-rays. And estimated treatment for that group was about $126,000. Since then, I think the total amount of patients we've treated around Indiana is about 750. And I think the value of the treatment that we've provided to them at no cost to them is about $1.5 million.
Wow, that's wonderful.
A lot of the labs have helped us. The specialists have helped me. In our program, we promised the veterans that we would do an exam, a cleaning, any fillings, any extractions at no charge. But as we got to know these veterans, we got beyond that and we started doing a crown here or there, or a partial denture or a full denture. And the endodontist would help me. If I had a molar endo that wasn't my grade, he said, okay, I'll do it for you. And if you think that patient deserves it, then we're all in. The periodontist, the endodontist, the oral surgeons. I used pediatric dentists and endodontists a lot for my screeners because they wouldn't get a chance to do the restorative dentistry. It was like a chance for them to go back to school and start thinking about, well, how does this all come to be? We're showing a list of the original doctors that helped me. It was a terrific group of people from LaPorte County. We've done 4 operation stand-downs in LaPorte County, 4 in South Bend, which is just next door to us. You might have heard of Notre Dame. That's that place that's over in South Bend. And then 2 in Gary and 1 in Greenwood, Indiana. So we've been busy in Indiana, but I want to get more people out of town involved. I think this is a national need, and I'm pretty excited to share it with anybody who's wanting to do one.
That's great.
No, we're happy to do this. With so many successes that you've, commented on over these last 4 years, and being a co-mom chair, this last year, there's no easy hurdles. What were some of the biggest challenges that you had starting this and getting the program rolling?
Biggest challenge was figuring out how to do it, when to do it, how to get the patients scheduled. I think our biggest ongoing challenge is finding the veterans to help them make the appointment. And we schedule them on a 15-minute block. And so we figure in a 5-hour set with 5 doctors, we can see 100 patients. And we can stay pretty true to that. We're very organized when we do it. We have a little prep meeting before we start. And then we have a little luncheon served for all the staff and volunteers when we get done. But the biggest challenge, I think, is to be able to find enough veterans to really get it going.
So are you doing that in an individual doctor's office and having a number of people come there and then the veterans show to one office, or are you doing it more widespread or a combination?
Okay, a combination. Originally, we started with the community health center and using that because it had a bigger parking lot than I did. And it had 5 treatment rooms. But we had a community room where we could do all the paperwork. Well, since then our hospital's been sold, so now we're working out of private dental offices, and we're finding it's just as efficient if we use one of our own offices. And we've done one in my office, we've done one in another doctor's office here in LaPorte. And the screening happens on a Saturday morning where we have the patients come through, and then all the restorative work, all the repairs and surgeries are happening in the private doctor's office who volunteered their time.
Good. So, I mean, this seems like it's been really, you've been doing a lot where sort of where you are and in the surrounding areas. Are you open to sharing this program model, you know, in other cities and states so that people can create these operations down?
Absolutely. You know, I've done some in a private office, but I'm close to two very nice regional campuses where they have dental hygiene and assisting programs. So in South Bend, I've been able to use their school 4 times already. And in Gary, Indiana, I've been able to use the school twice. And I have an organization for health education in Northern Indiana. And the lady in charge is in this picture, but I can't point her out for her privacy, but she's able to, anytime I involve students in the program, she can supply all the paperwork, all the expenses of putting the program on, any decorations, any food we provide for the vets or for the staff. She's able to do that for us. And so it's been no trouble recruiting somebody to help with any of those accessories. The only expense to the program is whatever you spend in your own office.
That makes sense. Okay.
So expanding on that, Dan, I know that Colorado has the ACT program, which is where the dental students are going out into offices. Would this be something that you could expand out to dental students and or faculty to be involved with the program?
Oh, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be great to involve students and faculty. The faculty over at IU Gary and the faculty over at IU South Bend are really fired up. The chairperson of the clinic in South Bend was the daughter of one of my doctors, so it was easy to make that connection. And so once we were in the door with the university, the dean of the school told us, hey, this is a great idea. You're involving students, you're giving them experience, they're getting exposed to humanitarian activity, and the instructors as well. They caught on to it, and they're really appreciative. Matter of fact, they keep asking me, can you come back once a year instead of every other year? So I think I would encourage other instructors or any student groups that were interested to put something together. Great.
And, kind of for our fellows around the country and dental students or anyone else that may be tuning in, can they reach out to you if they want to contribute in some way? How do people contact you? Because I've already gotten questions about that from people that have been kind of watching our social media about wanting to contact you and finding out more information.
I think we've agreed that we're going to arrange the contacts to come through the ICD office. Okay. And then we have the packet available through the office, but the ICD will connect me with that doctor or group so that I can personally talk with them as well. I'm very open to helping, and okay. I want this to become a national program.
Great, that's great.
Great. I'd say look at those contacts. They'll certainly be on the webpage. Dan, I'm sure through these last number of years as you've done this program that you've got some very special memories that's touched your heart as well as others. Is there any that you'd like to share?
Well, yeah, the very first time we did an Operation Stand Down, on Monday morning, I got a phone call from one of the wives of a veteran who was in our program. And I thought, oh man, what did I do? What did I forget? Did I offend somebody? But it turned out that she said, I don't know what you did to my husband on Saturday morning, but he's a different person than he was on Friday. And the thing she told me is that he said to her that no one's ever done anything for him because he was a veteran. I mean, they've done group things like a veterans parade or a veterans day, a veterans dinner, but to single him out and offer to take care of his dental health, he was so appreciative. The second story was You're seeing a picture of a Purple Heart. One of our veterans who came through last time was a victim of a house fire, and he lost everything he had. And in talking with him, he told us that he'd been awarded a Purple Heart, but it was lost in the fire. So we used our connections in Washington to get another Purple Heart for him. And it made so much value, or such a memory for him and his family. It was one of those things where we made it happen, and we felt great about doing it. And he was so appreciative about getting that award again.
Wonderful.
Great stories. So anything else that you would like our fellows to know about the program, about your experiences, or anything else important?
I guess that anybody who's interested in sponsoring one of these programs or being the leader, I guess back on one of the questions you asked me, what's the toughest thing? It's the toughest thing is to find somebody to step up and volunteer to be the chairperson. And if they're within reach of me, I'd be glad to go to their dental meeting with them and help them cheerlead to get people fired up, because I feel like I can do that. But getting that chairperson is the big thing. Once they get the chairperson, they read my cookbook. It's all laid out. It takes about 2 months to set one up. It's not a year-long thing like a mom project. About 2 to 3 months, you can set it up, get the appointments, and you got to recruit the doctors first. If you only have 3 doctors, you don't want to recruit 100 patients. I think 5 to 1 is a pretty good ratio. When I started out, I promised them no more than 10 to 1. But I've never gotten anywhere close to that. I've been getting more volunteers than patients a lot of times. So it's really been a rewarding project. I would definitely want to help anybody who's interested.
So just as a repeat for anybody who may be watching, where is that cookbook available for them to access? Or again, your contact, maybe we post that, or we'll have it on the website for this Facebook link. But where would that cookbook be available? Because that certainly makes it easier instead of reinventing the wheel.
Yep. Well, we've got a cookbook made, and it's available through the International College off the website. And I'm going to continue to upgrade it and correct numbers and these things and that. But the wheel has been made. The boilerplate is here in the cookbook. All you have to do is ask for one, and it'll come in a PDF form. And our people at the ICD office will be glad to handle it. And if you would like to talk with me personally or email me personally, we'll get you connected.
Great. Good. So we have some very special letters that were written about Operation Stand Down and Dr. Fridh. Dr. Sederberg and I are going to read them, and I'm going to let Dr. Sederberg start.
All right, this is from Amanda Pickett, who is the executive director for the Northwest Indiana Dental Society. And I'll read, I wanted to give you a little extra note about Dr. Dan Fridh and his program, Operation Stand Down. Last year, I was honored to help out with this program in May at the Indiana University Northwest campus in Gary. The veterans were so grateful and happy to have these services provided them. Many could not get access to care in any other way. The volunteers also really enjoyed their experience with this program, since they were able to provide service to patients that are truly in need of dental care and were not hesitant to express their gratitude. And I know you as doctors, we all know we have those patients that, you can't be any more happy for taking care of them. So we are honored to have a dentist like Dr. Dan Fridh as part of our dental society, and to be able to call him a friend is a true gift. Thank you for taking the time to speak with him and gain exposure for this amazing program. I hope you're all well and safe. Amanda L. Pickett, Executive Director, Northwest Indiana Dental Society.
It's a great letter. And I have a special one, and it is from a veteran that was actually treated at one of these programs. So my name is Albert Isbell. I'm 72 years young. I served in the military from 1967 to 1970. I served 2 overseas tours. One was South Korea and the other was Vietnam. Both tours were a learning experience for me. After a few years passed, I had health issues physically and mentally. To make a long story short, I was experiencing oral problems, teeth loss, plus other issues. When I heard about the Stand Down project that appeared in the News Dispatch, a friend of mine read it and asked me to investigate it. I didn't think much of it because veterans were having a hard time readjusting to life when it came to my health issues. My friend insisted that I check this out. To my surprise, as a Black male, I was well received and treated with the utmost respect. I attended the opening events and was the first attendee in line for the love that was shown and received. I received dental help from Dr. Fridh and his company of assistants and his team, who instructed me and directed me in how to obtain financial help to get the equipment for my dental work. All services were donated, and now I can smile with the rest of them. That is a great letter. That really is. And as
Amanda, I might point out, Albert was the very first patient to go through Operation Stand Down in 2012.
wow,
He arrived a half hour early. I don't even believe he had an appointment, but I told him to bring him on in. And I did his exam and I put my name on his chart. I just thought he was a neat guy.
yeah, this is a great
Well,
letter.
how wonderful that he could share.
Yes, I'm appreciative. I'm glad he was able to share. And I might point out that a lot of us have invited these veterans to become regular patients in our practice. We've basically adopted them or given them a dental home.
It's
And we
great.
continue to take care of them at no charge because they've given a lot to our country, and I think we can afford to give back.
Definitely. And, you know, speaking as someone that's kind of on the newer end of her dental career, I know how much value is placed on giving back as we go through dental school and more in residency and beyond, how many opportunities and kind of, you know, people searching for a giving back and really using these wonderful skills that we've learned in a way kind of outside of our office. And this is a really, really awesome program that does so much for people. So much for us. So thank you for that. There is a poem that Dr. Fridh, you would like to read that is going to come up next here.
Oh. Okay, well, this poem is a very special poem. It appeared at the tail end of the article that I wrote about our first Operation Stand Down in 2012. So this was in the IDA Journal 2013. Dr. David Hay was the regent for the ICD when I was inducted into the college. I remember him coming down the line, congratulating all of us, and he told me he knew that I would do something great for the college, and I can remember those words so clearly. The other thing is this poem is about the Vietnam Wall, and I came into the Air Force right at the tail end of Vietnam. And so it's very special to me as well because I had friends who, you know, some gave, some served, some served all or gave all. So let me read the poem. Granite as black as the smoke of war, a name to touch and cry, an epitaph of sacrifice, and still the question, why? Homage paid in special ways, a rose, a note, a sigh, frustration wrought with anger, that fate chose these to die. They never asked for glory, just a grave of homeland sod. They gave their lives for country, but now they answer but to God. Could tears but wash the pain away and heal a nation's scar, that men may find a better way than futile acts of war. Pray their death was not in vain, a lesson to recall, a future world without the need of names upon a wall. So thank you, Dr. Hay, for giving us this inspirational poem.
We think she stayed on because of.
Okay. So, you know, again, we want to thank you for being here. This is a really kind of important program that more people need to know about and get involved with. And I know that we've left the contact information for you up. And again, like I said, this is getting streamed live right now on Facebook, but it will be archived. So you can go back in and pull up Dr. Fridh's contact information and contact him via the International College of Dentists. And there are some articles that have been written about the program up right now. And before I kind of get into the rest of this, Dr. Sutterberg, do you have any last comments?
Well, Dan, again, I want to thank you for all that you've done to start this program. as I've spoken at the White Coat ceremony, for our peers in the last number of years, I've called the DDS the price of having initials after their name. So be it veterans, be it single mom, be it the dad, seniors, whoever it might be, we have the opportunity to give our services back. This is one avenue. I hope many are inspired by this Facebook interview tonight, that they touch base with you, start a program that this can go nationwide. There's such a huge need, and I was happy to be part of this interview tonight.
It's great. And thank you, of course, as always, for being here with us. And I know firsthand, because I was in Glenwood Springs for Co-Mom last year, that you and Sherry ran, that it is a massive undertaking, and all of this great work we do giving back in whatever way that we do it is one of the best parts of being a dentist. And so again, you can find more out about clicking on the Operation Stand Down link in the comment section on the Facebook page, or by going to the website and clicking on the Serving Others tab, which is at the top, and it'll be in the kind of drop downs that come down. Dr. Fridh, I want to thank you again for coming on and being here tonight. It was really great to hear about this from you. And our next Facebook Live is going to be on September 2nd of this year with Dr. Keneally, who is the incoming Secretary General for ICD Worldwide. And I know that all of us know him and love him. And in 2 weeks, we are going to be hosting our first ICD Take 10 interview, where I am going to be checking in with fellows around the country, honorary and otherwise. So look out for information and guests in an upcoming key mail that you're going to see. And my co-host for Dr. Keneally's interview is going to be Dr. Korch, which we're very excited about. And our very first ICD Take 10 guest is going to be Kevin Earl from Arizona, immediate past Executive Director of the Arizona Dental Association and an honorary fellow of 2019. Dr. Sederberg, anything else?
Not from me, Dan. Any concluding comments from you?
I want to thank both of you for inviting me to do this interview. It's really a big opportunity to get the information about Operation Stand Down out to the nation. I've had this idea in my head, and I keep thinking I got to find a way to make it spread, put it onto the map. Personally, I don't have the opportunity to go to a foreign country and do humanitarian service, and I think this has become a very good way to serve others. And the group that I've picked, I think, definitely deserve the help. So I'm very appreciative of the time you've given me to talk about Operation Stand Down, and I hope we have lots of people call in or text in and ask for help.
Thank you. Certainly, if the International College can be of any assistance, we're there for you, and we're so proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
And thank you again for giving us all this great information. And I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. And once again, look out for more information about our next Facebook Live with Dr. Keneally and Dr. Korch. I hope everyone has a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.